Good morning guys, welcome back to Blue Heart Crochet. It's been a long time no see. Yeah, life's been absolutely hectic this year. I've barely had time to craft. I've barely crafted anything, and that's been a mix between two things. One is my master's degree that I'm currently doing. It has been very intense, but I've been loving every minute of it. Well, not been loving the exams, but you know what I mean. I've really enjoyed the studying, learning everything. I've met some absolutely amazing people. And yeah, I've never regretted going and doing it for 1 second. It was sort of like quite a big gamble for me to come and do this. But I've never regretted it. It's definitely something that I am so glad I took the plunge with and have been working on. But yeah, it's been intense. I'm doing a master's degree in law. So I did my bachelor's degree, so like straight out of school, going to university degree. That was in history. We then literally next year had COVID and I wasn't well when I was doing my history degree. I ended up in hospital for 2.5 weeks in March of 2019, and I finished and handed in my dissertation and all my final stuff in May 2019. So I really wasn't well, got put on waiting lists, and then obviously COVID happened and it just obviously delayed treatment. So it wasn't for a couple of years that until I was able to actually put the degree to work and start using it. And then I worked as a tour guide. I then had another health issue start to develop and crop up, and I couldn't carry on with that specific role as a tour guide in that place with my health condition. There was no reasonable adjustments they could make to help me carry on with that job. It was gonna stop me at some point, but then there was a load of changes in that role and it just got so stressful, and I've suffered with mental health problems most of my life since I was 12 years old, and I knew that, you know, that job was not worth the detriment to my mental health. So I started looking for new roles and things like that, and I started thinking, you know, what about going and doing law? And yeah, I took the plunge, applied to do a master's degree, so my postgraduate, and yeah, started that in January of this year, and I've been working on it ever since. Since I've started, I've had 2 weeks off, which just shows how chaotic and hectic it's been. I'm not complaining, it's been done really condensed and fast, but yeah, it's been a lot of work. So this week here is the final week of teaching. Then I've got 3 more exams as it stands to finish the degree. Proviso, I've passed everything else. But yeah, 3 exams then left to do, 2 in December, 1 in January. So that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to come back and do Vlogmas. Just realised I've not introduced myself. My name's Abby. I live in Liverpool, northwest of the UK. And yeah, on this channel I just talk about all the knitting and crocheting that I've been doing, and other crafts. So yeah, I thought I'll take you along with me in December as I start to enjoy freedom again. Hopefully start to try and get back into the crafting mood again because of, you know, things being sidelined and stuff like that, but we'll have a little see. My plan for December Vlogmas is every day I want to knit one of the Christmas baubles out this Arne and Carlos book. So that is my goal. I've done one already, and so if I do it all the way up till the 24th of December, that means I'll end up with 25 and there's only 20 left to do. It's a good chunk of the book done, and then hopefully I'll be in the zone to start whipping them out then and get the book done, because I really want to get this book done. I love the idea of them and things like that. So yeah, and it's going to be great to be able to use up little bits of yarn that, you know, you get with those magazines that I never end up using, and I just end up with loads of little balls for scraps. So yeah, it's going to be a great way to use them up in this, and I'll show you how I get on. But anyway, I'm going to finish getting ready. I'm going to have some breakfast because I've got university today, and I'm going out afterwards to see my mum. So I'll see you all in a bit. It's gotten quite late now. It's around 9 o'clock. I've not really had a chance to actually talk to the camera much. I knew today was going to be busy. I obviously had uni, and then I was going to go and meet up with my mum because my mum got a parking ticket last week. And she took photos of the scene at the time, and they're saying, like, you know, they're saying she was parked in a place where she shouldn't be. But when we're looking at the photos, the only thing we can see is yellow lines on the actual physical road. And you're allowed to park there for like 3 hours, I think it is, if you've got like a valid blue disabled badge and the clock out with it. She did, and it even acknowledges that on the parking ticket itself. So we were a bit confused as to why it happened, but then I went on Google Images to try and get a bit of a look of the area while we were on the phone, and I was looking for like more signs for anything that said anything like restricted parking. And when I went on Google Images, Google Street View, bear in mind that this was taken 2 years ago, there were yellow markings that are on the curb, and that means you can't stop, unload at any point there. So with those yellow curb markings there, my mum shouldn't be able to park there. She's not allowed to. My mum wouldn't have parked there had she seen them. What we deduce from the photos is they've got even more faded than what was on Street View, and they've redone the lines that are on the actual road, but they've not redone the lines that are on the curb. So I'm going to help her challenge it, like, you know, on the grounds that, you know, if local authorities want to keep like traffic enforcement in place, they have to maintain the signs and the markings and that while it's in place. So I went there today to go and get actual close-up photos of the markings, and I'll probably put one or two in here to show you. So yeah, got the photos of the markings, and bear in mind, like, when my mum went to go and see it, was a sunny day and it was really dry, so it was a lot harder to see them, whereas today it was easier. But even today, like, they were faded. It was only because I knew where these markings were, I could go over and look over, and I specifically saw them. So yeah, to add like salt to the wound, there was a van that is owned by the council that was doing doing home deliveries for the library, and they were parked in this area where my mum was, and they didn't get a ticket. So that's another angle I'm challenging them with. And the third one is they've issued her the wrong contravention with the ticket. So the contravention they've issued her with is parking in an area during restricted hours, not parking in an area where loading and unloading is forbidden or prohibited. And that's another thing that I did say. I went and had a whole look around the street. There was absolutely no signs prohibiting any hours of action. So yeah, they've issued the ticket for the wrong reasons. The code's wrong, and also with the code that they issued, they should have give you a 5-minute observation period, and on the ticket it says that the observation period was immediately. So yeah, I knew I was going to be going to do that with my mum today, go and have a little look in the area. So I had a little look, and yeah, I wrote 1,700 words on an email to the council to appeal this ticket. It's just because, you know, it just winds me up because there's no accessible parking to get to this library. There's no, if you're not allowed to park where my mum parked, there's no accessible parking to get to the library. They claim there is because there is a car park right next to the library with blue badge spaces in. But to get from that car park to the library, you've got to go down a set of stairs, so it's not very accessible. But that's a whole other issue. And, you know, there's no drop off or drop off zones if you're not allowed to stop at this place. So yeah, it's just the fact that, you know, it's unfair. If she'd, you know, if she'd have, you know, made the mistake, she parked there, like, she didn't see the lines but they were very clear, then yeah, you know, that's on you. But yeah, wound up because people taking advantage of a situation. So anyway, yeah, so I was gonna go and do that with her, but my sister was like, oh, I'm gonna come along, tag along too. So yeah, she came along, and my nephew was obviously there, and you know, it's been lovely getting to spend time with him. He's just such a funny little lad. But my sister doesn't like any photos or videos of him on any form of social media, private or public. Sorry, hiccups a bit. So yeah, I didn't film anything while he was around. While I was out there, I did go and get my nails done because I've got a hectic week next week with things going on, and the week after that I've got exams. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go and treat myself, get my nails done, because my nails kept breaking really badly. It's a side effect of one of the medications I'm on. So yeah, I've got biab on my nails to try and give them a bit of strength so they can grow, and then it's sort of like, I don't know, gonna have to figure out how to keep them strong at home if I don't want to keep having to get biab on them. Yeah, because it's nice as a little treat every now and again, but not something that I can be doing all the time. Also, really struggling with the nails. They're not that long. Like, if you have a little look compared to my fingers, they're not actually too long. And some of them aren't much longer than what the nail is on the inside. Just got a bit of the extra length with where it's got the oval shape. I found, like, with my nail, I'm getting like, eh. And then particularly with the baubles, trying to stuff them. Yeah, that trying to push the yarn into certain areas so it fills out, and, you know, move the yarn around once it's inside. I am really struggling with that. So yeah, I was getting stressed out. It was taking me 20 minutes to do a little bit, and I was like, right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go and have a shower, go to bed, next morning do it, or another day do it. The main bit's done, the knitting's done. But yeah, so this is the first bauble that I did. The way Arne and Carlos do them is, most of them in the book, I think actually that's the only one that I've seen that's not red and white. There's one which has got like 3 colours in, but that's red, white and green. But as you can see, what they do is they do white as the main colour and then red as the accent, and I think that's how it's traditionally done. And I'm not sure where they're from. I think it's a Scandinavian country. But so what I did is I've done the white with this like emerald jade, no, more jade green. So I did that to, like, you know, use up some of the different colours that I've got, the you know, little scrap balls, and then this is the one that I've done for today. So it's got one design on half, you've got that design, back to the bigger design, and then round to the small one. And this one I've just reversed that jadey green colour. Put that up there. Yeah, I've just reversed the jade and used the white as the accent colour, and I think that's probably what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do one where it's white and the accent colour, the other one where the contrast, like the colour is, I know white's a colour, but you know what I mean, where the colour's the background and the white's the accent or contrast colour. So I think that's what I'm going to do. As you can see, my stuffing, I was getting stressed out with the stuffing, but that's a problem for another day. The knitting's done, it's wound off. And yeah, probably what I'll do is once I've done quite a few different colours, I may come back and use some of this jade again because I've got it left over. But yeah, we will have to see. So I'm going to be going on to number 3 tomorrow, and that is called Snowflakes. And that design is quite repetitive, so should be quite a smooth one to do. Show you the photo there. So the pattern's quite repetitive. What I've done is at the beginning of the book, there's a basic pattern on how to do the bauble, and then you get the charts throughout of all the different designs, and then even help to make your own one, own graph and design and things like that. But rather than having to go back and forth, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna just gonna scan the pattern, copy it, and it's now not only can I move it to where I'm up to, but it's also a great page marker for me. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get going. Gonna go to bed, have an early night, because I've got to be up quite early tomorrow because there's roadworks on one specific junction going into university, and it's one we can't avoid. If basically it took us 25 minutes to get through it this morning, and normally it's within 5 if there's traffic. It's 5 minutes if there's traffic. But yeah, for us to then go another route, it then just add on to that, like, you know, extra 20 minutes anyway. So yeah, because it's one of the very few routes to go this way, it just does mean it's chaos when there are roadworks there. So yeah, got to be up quite early, leave a lot earlier for tomorrow, and it's my last day of uni tomorrow. I'm getting emotional. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope you're all having a lovely start to December. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, staying safe, taking care, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. Bye.